Hello, guys. Happy Saturday. Yes, you got to see us one more day every week. Maybe through the playoffs. Again, except we're not on audio. That might change in the future. But for now, we're sticking to YouTube. I believe we're going to be on Facebook as well. So we're going to be on multiple platforms as Jason's trying to give you a good close-up of his face.
Well, I'm not trying to. I think I have a crack in my screen, my computer.
Good time to notice that. But anyway, so this show, we're moving all of our NFL stuff over, and we're making our Saturday picks as well as our Sunday and Thursday night picks. So that way we can kind of clear up the Sunday show right now, for one. And number two, obviously, we want to, just get all, because Saturday football starts this week, so that was the main factoring decision. But, of course, it also helps us clear up our Sunday schedule, so now we can talk a little bit more about some of the big stories we've missed because football season was going on and took up 95% of the show. But anyway, we're going to start off with our takeaways this week. I believe I let you start last time, so...
Actually, I think it was you that started last time.
Well, if you want to play that way, I guess you'll start.
I mean, it doesn't really matter to me.
So, Jason, I'll let you start it off here.
In a game that I thought was going to be a total blowout.
It was looking that way.
It was starting to look that way.
The first half really looked that way.
To outscore the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think they outscored 24-3 in the second half. It's impressive against the defending champions. The problem is Josh Allen got banged up in the game, couldn't put any pressure on his left leg. Apparently, they considered it a left leg strain. Crazy enough that he's going to actually be playing against the Panthers, even though I think that it should be Mitchell Trubisky, who is fully healthy.
It's the Panthers. Come on.
I know, but still. But they do fall short in overtime. I'm mad about the loss, but I'm happy that they didn't give up. They fought hard to take it to overtime against the defending champions. I'm happy about it. But you get the ball first, and then you go easily 3-0. That's just not okay. It just seemed like they didn't have a great game plan heading into overtime, which is weird because they had such a great game plan towards the end of regulation. Where was that for overtime? Also, what kind of defensive play calling was that to have a linebacker covering a speedy wide receiver? So the question is, who's to blame? You gotta have to blame your coordinators for that, for not executing the game plan correctly. You could have made, I'm glad that they made adjustments at halftime. That's what you gotta do as a team. But the problem that gets me mad is, how come you had to wait until halftime to make adjustments? You knew this team was gonna blitz off the edge. You knew. How come there was no game plan to prepare for that? Bring in an extra tight end. Bring in extra lineman. Use the receiver or running back for a blocker, or for God's sake, you have a fullback that you haven't even used all year as a blocker. Just the thought process of things this year is just it's just showcasing that the Buffalo Bills are very defeated. They don't know. They don't have any answers. They're gonna be one and done in the playoffs. It's just, I have no hope for this team at all. I think they're going to be in the playoffs as a very low seed. As far as moving on, it's not going to happen this year. So, sorry, Bills fans, even including me, Super Bowl is just not happening this year. And it makes you wonder, will it ever happen?
Yeah. I think that's a little dramatic, but yeah. I'll save my thoughts for that one until I get to my takeaways. So I'll let you move on.
For somebody that might just be in the conversation just about every year, Aaron Rodgers has himself a game against the Bears. He still owns them.
I think he owns a larger stake, is what Adam Schefter said on Twitter, per sources.
I'm pretty sure he does. Honestly, they weren't looking so good against the Bears towards the beginning of the game. When I went to bed, they were down to the Bears. Then I woke up the next morning and I'm like, huh? 45-30?
Tell you, the game lived up to expectations, though.
Bears are probably one good coach away from being decently back into. I'm gonna say this now. You're gonna probably see the NFC North being very different next year. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. The only coach that returns next season for the NFC North is just Matt LaFleur.
I don't know about that. I think,
I just don't think that the Lions should keep around Dan Campbell. I hate to say
whether you think they do or not, I just think he sticks around. There's no question Matt Nagy's not coming back.
Matt Nagy's gone.
No question.
And Mike Zimmer is gone.
Mike Zimmer has way too much talent on that team to be as bad as he is right now.
I know, I agree.
For
That's
a while
why I'm saying it's... Go ahead.
Here's the thing. What I will say is, of those coaches, Mike Zimmer will land on his feet fastest because he's still a pretty decent coach. It's just the problem is he's not... I think it's time for him to have a change of scenery. I just don't think he's cutting it in Minnesota.
It just makes you think, when would he be able to cut it? If he can't do it with a stacked roster like that...
Here's the thing.
If he was to go to another team that has a decent offense, could he still have success? That's what I want to know.
And here's the other thing. He by no means is an Andy Reid. I want to make it clear. Mike Zimmer is nowhere even in the same ballpark as Andy Reid. But could this be an Andy Reid type situation where maybe he needs to move on to the next job so that way he can kind of grow as a coach and get better? Okay? Because keep in mind, Andy Reid, his last few years in Philadelphia were atrocious. Okay? They were terrible. And then when he went to Kansas City, he was winning games. I mean, he wasn't winning the division at first, but when you have to play Peyton Manning twice a year, you're not going to win a division. I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay. But, then of course he got Mahomes, and it just went from there. They started rolling.
Yeah, that's true. But as far as Aaron Rodgers goes, he's ever since they've gotten Matt LaFleur, he seems to be in the MVP discussion every single year. There's just something that Matt LaFleur has it clicking.
Yeah.
He has it clicking as a Packers head coach. He is... It's crazy to think that in just 3 years... Look at how many games he has won in 3 years. 13-3. 13-3. Where are they right now? 10-3.
Yep.
He has won over 30 games in 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Just think about that. That makes him happily probably one of the best coaches in his first 3 years in the league. then probably, I don't know, anybody. I can't think of anybody else that's had a better I can't think of anybody that's had a better 3 years as a coach than him. Because honestly, you can't even put Sean McDermott in that discussion because I hate to say it, he's had only really one great season that was last year. Other than that, I mean, I guess you can make some discussion of, well, he made the playoffs 3 out of his, or, yeah, 3 out of his 4 years in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you're winning the division every single year, that has more weight to it than making the playoffs when you've only won the division one time in your tenure as a head coach. That's what I'm saying. So, Aaron Rodgers showcasing why he's still in that MVP race, and Matt LaFleur showcasing why I just think that he's just showcasing how he can be head coach of the year every single year.
I'm sorry, but that award, without question, belongs to Cliff Kingsbury this year. But yeah, I agree, though.
I mean, I just hate to say it. It's just, I just want to know how, with a team that literally only has one good receiver and one good running back and one good quarterback, can just put up over 10-win seasons every single year.
Yeah. But
I
we
get
also just argue that Arizona's in the same situation. One good quarterback, one really damn good receiver, much like Devontae Adams, if not
and
better.
Not really. Yeah,
and
but
then,
the thing is they got subpar running backs.
Yeah,
though. I mean,
but look at where they are. Okay, and keep in mind, DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray were out for at least 4 straight games.
That's true.
That's why I gotta argue, even though it's just Matt LaFleur is great, but he's great on the wrong year because someone always upstages him. Last year it was Stefanski. I believe the year before it was Sean McDermott, if I'm not mistaken. It was somebody else.
Probably.
It was somebody else though that upstaged him. And then this year he very well should be upstaged by Cliff Kingsbury. Now, I mean, if he wins it, he deserves it. But I will say, though, Cliff Kingsbury, I think, in a way, deserves it a little bit more than Matt LaFleur.
And just remember, Green Bay's already got the one-up on Arizona this year, too.
Yeah.
I guess brings me to that kind of same division too. The Seahawks, yes, Russell Wilson has finally found it. Found his stroke again. Finally found the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're finding it a little too late. Because, I mean, I will say there's still a possibility they could still wind up in the playoffs. They're not technically out of that discussion yet. They are 5-8. You got 4 more games going. Could be a possibility they can somehow miraculously win out. I don't think it's going to happen. It's kind of hard to think if a 9-8 team could honestly make playoffs in NFC this year.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think Seattle's got it this year. I think, honestly, sorry, I gotta keep an eye on the scores, so I can't really...
I'm just gonna say this now. I really do think that the Seahawks gotta hit the reset button.
Yeah. They might have to get rid of Pete Carroll at this point. But looking ahead, though... What is it? They got the Rams this weekend. They're not beating the Rams, and they sure as hell ain't beating the Cardinals. Okay, so I don't know.
Well, actually, no. Seattle has got
could Russell Wilson get Pete Carroll fired is the bigger question. Because if he has more...
There's already been some rumors. I don't know how true they are, but apparently there's something going around that he might want to waive his no trade clause. And that apparently teams like Seattle, Philadelphia are favorable teams of his. It's just rumor.
Who's this? That's Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Well, Seattle, he's on right now, so I don't know what the other team is you heard. But
no, I said New Orleans, Philadelphia, Denver, and like one other team or something like that. So
I think it's going to come down to, he's going to say at the end of the year, I want Pete Carroll gone or I'm gone. And it's going to come down to who has more say in the organization. And it very well should be Russell Wilson, because they weren't winning before Russell Wilson, okay? Matt Hasselbeck had them on the fringe of the playoffs every single year. Now, granted, Matt Hasselbeck deserves a lot of credit for being the undisputed leader of this franchise for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, they weren't going anywhere with Tavares Jackson and Charlie Whitehurst.
Well, they weren't going anywhere with Matt Flynn either.
Yeah, they weren't going anywhere with Matt. Well, Matt Flynn kind of got screwed out of that job, but, it worked out at the end of the day. Obviously, Russ is their quarterback, but
it has been since 2012.
But yeah, they're going to lose 2 games. They're not making the playoffs, plain and simple. That's just focusing on this year. They're going to lose 2 more, maybe 3, because Chicago's pulled some strange wins in the past, so I wouldn't put it past them. But all right. So good for me to start here. Or?
Yeah, it's good for you to start now.
All right. I just wanted to be sure before I interrupt you. All right. So the Chargers, keep in mind, part of the reason I'm a little distracted right now, we're actually recording during Thursday Night Football, and the Chargers just fumbled up the middle. Man, I'm frustrated. This game is... I hate playing Kansas City. Can I just say that before I start? I hate playing Kansas City. But anyway, back to the point at hand here. They had a convincing win, the Chargers did, against the Giants. One I didn't expect because Keenan Allen was out. I think Mike Williams was sick. And, Eckler had the ankle injury. So it was one I didn't expect to happen. I expected it to be a lot closer, and they blew them out. I think it was a 2 or 3 possession game at the end of it. I mean, the Giants did come back and make it respectable against our backups. But what I will say, it was a convincing win, but against the wrong team. This is not the team they need to be proving wins against, okay? You want to know the team that they need to start proving wins against? It's the one they're playing as we're recording here on Thursday night. Okay, that's the only team they have to prove it to.
Especially against a team that's defense has been resurging.
Yeah.
As of late.
Exactly. So, again, we'll see. Kansas City's defense, they're still, in my opinion, 28th at best. I don't know what the rankings are, but they're still not even a top 20 defense, I would imagine. So,
I have no idea.
But obviously, this game's opportunity because Chris Jones is out with COVID. That's all I'm going to say on that, because I don't want to comment too much on the game that's technically in the past while we're premiering. Buffalo. Okay, now I'm going to get on to the point I wanted to make when you were making your point. Buffalo, quit blaming the referees, okay? Now, mind you, if you watched our show Monday night, as opposed to Sunday morning, because of the power outage, so I had to listen to the game on the radio, because, of course, we had the power outage, and it was out for a few days. But one thing I heard constantly in the Bills post-game show was the blaming of the referees. The first and foremost point in that post-game show was, the refs robbed Stephon Diggs. If he was any other receiver on a damn good team, he would be getting the call. Stop, okay? You lost the game because your coaches were incompetent. Okay, you lost the game because your coordinators are too one-dimensional at this point. Okay, I agree with you on that. What I will say is I'm going to elaborate just a tad more than you did. They have stalled out, okay? The Bills have shown to me no improvement in between this year and last year, okay? And if there is, it's very, very slight, okay? It seems like they looked at last year and said, we made the AFC Championship, we'll settle. They've got to be hungry. They got to find a way to be hungry for this. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Bills drop one more game, even if it's against Carolina, this division is long gone. And,
I agree.
And frankly, they have to win out, number one. They can't lose another game. Okay? So
it's going to be tough to do it, especially with New England next week.
I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're going to do it. But that's beside the point.
Even if they win 3 out of the 4, it's still something, but...
And I could tell you right now, as I'm going to actually pull up their schedule.
Well, Buffalo has Carolina this week, New England next week, Atlanta, and then the Jets.
But here's the thing. You imagine they'll beat the Falcons and the Jets. Although the Falcons have shown some signs of, they're not great, but they've shown some brilliance throughout the year at some points. I mean, they beat New Orleans, and they beat them, they beat them mightily, too, on the road, nonetheless. And then, of course, they beat the Chiefs. They beat them pretty bad. They shut out the Texans and the Dolphins by big scores. So this is a team that has the capability of being good, but they're just not good. Or, I'm sorry, no, wait, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the Buffalo scores, my bad. Oh my gosh. I'm losing it. I'm sorry. But let's look at the Falcons anyway. They did beat New Orleans by 2 on the road, so I did have that right. I believe both games against the Bucs, they led near comebacks against the Bucs.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the Bucs leading big and then just letting teams come back in it. If they were to do that, it's say the Bucs were to get to the Super Bowl and they did that. I hate to say it, you better not do that against a top team or you're going to lose. So Tampa Bay has been showing signs that they kind of can let some games slip out of their grasps.
Yep.
I hate to say it, towards the end, Tampa Bay should have lost that game.
Should I point out, by the way, the Chargers just scored a touchdown. Eckler, a Mahomes interception leading to an Eckler touchdown. So big implications here in the fourth.
Sucks for my fantasy team.
Yeah. But anyway... Sorry to interrupt there, but what I will say is that Buffalo, it's time to get... I know Brian Dable's a fan favorite, but this is exactly why I didn't want him to coach my team, because he would have stalled out... I mean, you were vouching for him last year at this time, if I'm not mistaken. You were vouching for him to get this job.
Yes. Only because, look at how many Josh Allen 300-yard games he had last year.
And I can't help but say that we dodged a bullet and took another one. I mean, granted, Brandon Staley, here's the thing I like about him. He's got aggressiveness like Sean McVay. Okay? He's very aggressive like McVay. But he's got a lot to learn still.
So, okay. If there's anything to... I have not seen much aggressiveness from Sean McDermott.
Yeah, he needs to kind of change things up at this point.
You know why I know where I saw aggressiveness from Sean McDermott? Last year. Where the hell is it this year?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, I get it. You want to play head coach.
Maybe
and you want your coordinators to do their job. But sometimes as a head coach, you got to be aggressive.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad when he's on the sidelines showing his coordinators how to do their damn job. That means that your coordinators are incompetent of doing their damn job, and it's time to fire them.
Yep, exactly. And I'm telling you, this just killed any chance of Leslie Frazier or Brian Dable getting head coaching jobs in the near future.
So, I'm just going to say this now. You get rid of Leslie Frazier, you have Sean McDermott running the defense next year. As far as offense, I don't give a shit who it is. As long as it's somebody that's going to actually focus on the running attack as well as the passing game, because our run game is the shittiest.
You guys, to me, have the worst running. You guys have the worst running back duo in the league, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, at least that's my opinion on it.
I hate to say it, Breida is like the best running back that's on that roster, and he's barely being used.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to move on to that third point here. Just because, again, I think we covered a lot in your take and my take here. But what I will say, though, is I agree, and maybe the Bills should consider drafting a running back as well at this point and looking to dump off Singletary and, well, not Moss. Moss is just a sophomore slump.
The problem is they've done it in the past and it hasn't got them anywhere.
Yeah, but CJ Spiller had that one good year. But, you know, after that, he kind of just nosedived off a cliff. But anyway, here's the question I'm going to propose now. Have the Rams finally found their mojo since getting Von Miller and OBJ?
I mean, that surprising win against the Cardinals was nice. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you don't want them to keep on winning those games and getting a little too arrogant either. Because you got two guys that kind of came to this team acting all cocky and mighty, like, oh, well, you know, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think they found their mojo in a new place, but I still want to see more out of them. Von Miller hasn't really done much of anything. I really haven't seen him getting any sacks for the Rams. I've seen OBJ's been catching touchdowns. Don't get me wrong. He's been involved in the offense.
But what I will say is for Von Miller, I think more his job, instead of being that primary pass rusher, is it's that guy to take the pressure off of Aaron Donald. Okay, I
guess I'm alright with that.
I think we can argue that's a little bit more his job now than being the primary guy, and that takes a lot of pressure off of him to perform, which is good. For both of them, actually. It's great for both of them.
Can we just admit that Aaron Donald's a beast at this point? Like, that man can get double, triple coverage and still break it like it's nothing.
What I will say is that goes without saying. But anyway, that's kind of my... actually, it's not totally it. But what I will say is for Matt Stafford, this was a big win. This honestly was the biggest statement win for the Rams all year.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. Biggest statement win, and it without a doubt puts them back into legitimacy in the NFC because now they beat the Cardinals, which are without question the best team in the NFC, and it's not even close right now. I mean, yeah, the Packers are number one, but what I will say in terms of depth, Arizona's the best in the NFL. Because it don't matter who plays on Sunday, they still find ways to win and be competitive week in and week out.
Right.
So, but for the Rams to do that, it may very well be that NFC Championship game between the Rams and the Cardinals. I mean, the Packers, without question, are going to have say in it. The Bucks, they've got some work to do, but they might be there as well. But in all likelihood, it's probably going to be the Rams and the Cardinals for a third time.
Yeah.
I think it's... After that game, it's a little tough to argue otherwise. But, I mean, the Packers obviously wouldn't be a total loss for us football fans. But, anyway, let's get on to it here. We've got the picks for Saturday, Sunday, and next Thursday here. And by the way, the Chiefs just got a nice touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Just thought I'd update on that. Anyway, Raiders-Browns. Raiders a 3.5 favorite on Saturday afternoon.
I don't know. This one's... I feel like it could be anybody's game, honestly. Cleveland just got an impressive win against, the Ravens. I don't see Las Vegas winning this game. I think Cleveland found something. I think they're going to keep the momentum going, even though I'd like to kind of see them lose because them, Indy, and Buffalo all have the same record. So kind of would be nice to see the Las Vegas Raiders get the win and kind of help out the Bills in some sort of way. But I'm going with the Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to actually lean toward the Raiders. The Browns are down to their third-string quarterback. Stefanski's not going to coach on Saturday.
Oh.
And then, it's going to be heavy run game, basically. And I don't know. I like Nick Mullins. I think he's a decent quarterback, but I don't think he's a reliable quarterback. And especially now that he's out of Kyle Shanahan's system, I don't like this.
I didn't know that. Can I change my...
Yeah. You want to change it?
Some of us were born.
Yeah. I didn't realize that they were down to their third-string quarterback. Yeah, I think it's going to be Vegas, but I don't like the 3-point spread.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be more.
It depends. I think the spread's about right. But anyway, on to the next Saturday game, the 8:15 one, Patriots-Colts. Colts are a 2.5 favorite.
Whoa.
That's an interesting swing. Okay, one I didn't expect.
Honestly, as much as it pains me to want Indy to win, it would be kind of nice to see them lose. But, there's always a but. Somehow, miraculously, if Buffalo wins against Carolina and Indy beats New England, that game next week has some heavy implications. And I think you know why.
Yeah, division lead.
Because it would be for the division lead. So, as much as I would like to see Indy win, I'm gonna have to go with New England.
Should I also mention New England is 6-0 on the road?
And New England's also won 7 games in a row too, so that also plays.
And God
plays
knows
in their
how
favor.
many in a row against Indy. Because I don't think Indy's won against New England since Peyton Manning played for him. Pretty sure.
You're probably right. Well, I can't remember.
But I'm gonna go New England too. They have a top 5 defense. I think they'll have no problem stopping Jonathan Taylor. And if they can stop Jonathan Taylor, I think they can stop Carson Wentz too. Matthew Judon, I believe, is in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. So I think it's the perfect storm for New England to win this game. But anyway, now we're on to the Sunday games. Panthers, Bills. Bills a 10.5 favorite.
Holy crap. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I think this is gonna be finally the game that they showcase that they can still be sort of dangerous, but not too bad. What also plays in the mind is how much is Josh Allen gonna be able to play in this game? Clearly, he showed that the leg is not gonna be a factor because he was playing on that leg and able to do pretty damn well for himself on a pretty banged up leg.
He's just gonna have to be more pocket passer than runner,
which is, I mean, I don't know. I think I mean, we've beaten up on Cam Newton before, so I can expect to be able to do it again. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. Newton's not really that great of a passer. I mean, so we've beaten Cam before.
Yeah.
Barely in Buffalo, but we beat him before, so I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I think it's gonna be a little bit closer just because of Josh Allen hurt, not being 100% healthy.
I'm going to go Buffalo. I don't think this is going to be close at all. But I will tell you this is not at all a statement win if they win it. Okay, this is kind of a
This is
warm-up
more
to
so
New England.
It's not a statement win, it's more so can you be able to compete win? Because you get this, and somehow miraculously Indy helps us out and beats New England. You better circle that game on your calendar for next Sunday, because that one is in New England. You know New England isn't good at home. The weather's probably going to be better.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
I was going to say no, you just know, but.
All right, we got to get moving here. So, Cardinals, Lions, I don't think we're going to even have to make a pick for this one. So, should we just move on to the next game because we already know we're just going to pick the Cardinals?
Yeah.
All right, Jets, Dolphins. Dolphins a 9.5. Dolphins, you know, I want to make an argument for the Jets, but the Dolphins are just rolling right now. They have finally found something that works for them, and Brian Flores has worked his way off the hot seat, I think. But anyway, Cowboys, Giants, Dallas 10.5. Dallas, but keep in mind, no Zeke. I don't believe any Tony Pollard either, but I don't think that's going to matter. Washington and the Eagles, Philadelphia 9.5.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. This one's. I'm gonna go Philadelphia only because they're at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the football team here. I think they're rolling.
I was kind of leaning that way towards that way as well, but
I don't like the spread. This should be a lot closer. But again, I'm not in Vegas to make that argument.
Right.
But anyway, Titans and Steelers. This could actually be a really good matchup. The line is even for this game.
Really?
Yes, line is even.
I don't like that because Pittsburgh's just not that good. I'm going to go Tennessee.
Tennessee as well. You know, Najee will probably run the table here, but I don't see Big Ben having any impact against this Titans defense. Anyway,
yeah, no.
Texans, Jags. Jags 5-point favorites. Keep in mind they're marred in controversy entering this game. So now that they've dropped some weight, we'll talk about it tomorrow. But,
Don't be shocked if they somehow do miraculously get a win against Houston.
Yeah.
I'm probably actually gonna go with Jacksonville over Houston.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Jacksonville too. It's tough to argue for Houston. They've just been a dumpster fire. But anyway, Bengals, Broncos 2.5 favorite.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I just think that they have a better team than Denver.
The Bengals are just that team that's good but not good. Like, it's sad to say they're just that team that's good but not good.
Even though this doesn't help out Buffalo in any sense of the mind if either one of those teams win. But
yeah. So, also should I just point out touchdown Keenan Allen. But anyway, let's move forward here. Falcons, Niners, but I am going to go Bengals here. Anyway, Falcons, Niners, San Fran, 9.5 favorite here.
San Fran.
Yeah, San Fran. Debo's been hot lately as a running back and a wide receiver. Seahawks and Rams. Rams are a 4.5.
Rams.
Yeah, Rams, it won't be close. Packers, Ravens, supposedly the game of the week.
I don't know about that because Lamar is probably still... I don't know if he's going to be playing in this game.
So, might not matter. Their backup did a pretty decent job the one game he had to fill in.
Tyler Huntley? Yeah.
But anyway,
no,
Green Bay
Green Bay is just too good heading into this game, so I'm going Green Bay over Baltimore.
Lamar Jackson could be the difference maker here, but I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Saints, Bucks. Bucks are an 11-point favorite, and I'm going to tell you I also don't like this spread.
I don't either because last time these two teams faced off against each other, New Orleans got the win. With Trevor Siemian at quarterback, by the way. But I will say Tampa Bay will get the win at home.
I think that's the game that Jameis tore his ACL, if I'm not mistaken. He tore it mid-game and Siemian had to close it out. But, I don't know. I don't like Taysom Hill versus Tampa. I don't either. I think Tampa gets the win.
I think Tampa Bay finally gets the hump over New Orleans. And Tom Brady will finally be able to get the win over New Orleans as a member of the Bucks.
Yeah. All right. So Vikings, Bears, Minnesota 5.5 favorite.
Come on now. Minnesota.
I'm calling an upset here. I think the Bears get it. I don't like Kirk Cousins on Monday night. What can I say? I just don't think Kirk Cousins is a Monday night quarterback. So, that and, to be honest, something just spells upset here. I'm going with the Bears. I mean, the fact that they went toe-to-toe with Green Bay says a lot.
True.
So, anyway, Thursday night football, the NFL Network game only, because Fox will be covering a Christmas game next week. But it is the 49ers and the Titans. The line is even once again. Can I just say this might be low-key the game of the week?
I'm finally glad that the last couple of weeks for Thursday has actually gotten good.
Yeah. I gotta agree.
I don't know. This one's a tough one. I think it could go either way. I'm going to call upset. I'm going to go with the 49ers over the Titans.
I don't know if that's much of an upset, though. I mean, but the Niners had beaten good teams. Or, I'm sorry, the Titans have beaten good teams. I'm going to go with the Titans here. You know, I think this is the game they could very easily win.
I just want to explain myself a little bit. Little detail.
Mm-hmm.
It would be different if Derrick Henry was playing.
Yeah.
But because he's out, that's the only reason why I'm going to 49ers over the Titans.
Fair enough. But anyway, that's all we got for our Saturday edition. Again, we're going to try to merge the NFL stuff onto here for at least the rest of the year, or for the rest of the season. Of course, Super Bowl Sunday will be a different story. We'll change things as we go, I guess. But anyway, we will be back tomorrow morning. We will be discussing Urban Meyer tomorrow, the newest three-point king, and of course a whole new segment coming up tomorrow. So we hope you'll tune in. Of course, it'll be on all platforms tomorrow, not just here on YouTube or on Facebook Watch if we decided to upload there. But anyway, we will see you Sunday or tomorrow morning. Until then, yes, it's nap time. Good night, everyone. Or goodbye, everyone.